Happy Halloween, friends, and thank you for celebrating with me on Cozypreneur. In honor of this spooky day, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are wrapping up our AI series, and since it's Halloween, we're going to do it by creating a mini Halloween campaign right here on this episode. So I will show you what happens when I run the same prompt through ChatGPT and what I do to get results that aren't complete AI slop. So let's dive in. Okay, so I was trying to think of the best way to end this series, and I think the best way really is to see it in action, because we've been spending the past 4 episodes talking about, theory and approach, but what does it actually look like, and what is my brain doing when I'm actually using ChatGPT? It's funny because, when I taught 2nd grade, we would talk about these being think-alouds, and you would do it while you read books so that kids know what you're thinking about as you're reading a book. So here you go, my adult kids. Let's see what happens when I use the same prompt for ChatGPT. So let's start with that. I just went into a blank ChatGPT. I said, forget about who I am. You don't know anything about me. And the prompt that I gave it was, hey, pretend I'm a parenting coach and I'm trying to run a Halloween weekend special. And I got a lot back. So let's see. The first piece that I got back was the campaign concept. So we get no tricks, just treats for parents. While kids get candy, parents get peace of mind. So peace of mind, cool. I think a lot of parents are looking for that. But really thinking about, are they getting peace of mind while their kids are getting candy? I feel like that's not when you get the peace of mind. The peace of mind would probably come from, Halloween is over, trick-or-treating happened, nobody got triggered, everybody is in bed and sleeping. That's when the parent peace of mind comes in. Parent peace of mind isn't going to be happening when your kid doesn't want to go to sleep and is just trying to run off their sugar high. So far, what I am seeing is there's a transformation, right? This idea of peace of mind, but it's not super specific. So let me keep going. We got email headlines is the next section that it gave me, because parenting is the real haunted house. Okay. I like the pun action. Your kids get candy, you get clarity. Not super clear on what that actually means. Boo, a Halloween treat just for parents. I think that would be a cute subject line if you have a special deal. I think the puns are great. I love writing on a good theme because you can just have so much fun with all the different puns. But what I'm realizing so far with these 2 sections that I've had so far is that it's witty, it's punny, but it's not actually saying anything, right? What is the clarity that these parents are getting? What is the treat, right? And I know that these are just supposed to be subject lines, so we would have to go deeper into it. But let's see what it gives us for social copy. While your kids are loading up on sugar this weekend, you deserve a treat too. It's cute, but it's vague, right? So if I am a parenting coach, what is the treat that the parents want, right? You're not actually really talking about what it is. And I think the other thing too is when you're looking at the social copy, the email headlines, and the campaign concept that it's given me so far, they're not super connected to each other. They're all just kind of punny in different ways. So let's see. Then we have visual ideas, which isn't super relevant to me, but you have candy bucket filled with parenting challenges like sleep, tantrums, homework, and screen time. That's fun, but it's not a strategy, right? There's no story behind it. Anybody could have just a templated Canva post creating a bucket of parenting challenges, but it's not actually telling anything about you or what you do. Now, remember, I only gave ChatGPT that little prompt of, hey, I'm a parenting coach and I'm trying to run a Halloween special. The last thing that it gave me with this prompt was offer ideas. So it's funny that it built this whole campaign without even actually knowing what my offer was. So the offer ideas are 20% off a coaching package, free parenting reset call, creating a bundle where you are also selling things for the holidays. It's not bad. It's not horrible. Like these could in theory work for your business, but one, they're not connected to any of the campaign things that they gave us earlier. And there's no like story behind it being like, hey, this is why you should care about this. This is why that parenting coaching call is going to help you, right? It's just saying like, hey, it's Halloween and we're being cute with our copy with all of these Halloween puns, but there's nothing there. There's no depth there about how this is going to actually help the family. And I think this is one of the bigger traps that solopreneurs fall into, is forgetting the you element, right? And that's something that I talked about in the other AI episodes. So results, not bad. Honestly, like as a starting point, you could use that and take off from there. But the whole point of using AI is to save you time and make your life a little bit easier. And so what I did for Brand Project and Copy Classroom is I actually created GPTs that are meant to guide you through a process so that by the end you have an actual campaign that is actually going to work for you, or a much better starting point. And so I have 3 GPTs that I use, but the first one is my messaging framework. And so it's the PASP framework. And basically I use the same prompt, which was, hey, pretend I'm a parenting coach. I'm trying to plan a Halloween campaign. And so what the GPT does is ask me some follow-up questions. So I answer the questions about what's going on. And so I specifically decided to focus on bedtime. And so bedtime, if I'm this parenting coach, bedtime, the problem that they're having is bedtime feels like a battle every night. And what should take 10 to 15 minutes turns into a 90-minute emotional marathon. And by the time your toddler finally dozes off, you are too drained to enjoy a moment of quiet. So if you could see the difference, just putting in a little bit about what your ideal clients are experiencing, you can actually feel this one, right? Like there's feelings in here. They're tired. It's not just like, oh, cutesy Halloween. Like, oh, that's something that real parents really experience. And you acknowledging that is validating to them because they're like, they understand what I'm going through. The next set of questions it asks me is about, what's your assessment of the situation, right? And so it's not happening because you're failing. It's happening because there's not a consistent calming routine your child can trust. Bedtime isn't just about behavior. It's about nervous system regulation, right? And so you're not just explaining like, hey, you have this problem and you should feel bad about it. No, you're saying, hey, here is your problem and here's why it happens. And here's why it's coming up, not just for you, but for, all the other parents that I hypothetically work with if I was really a parenting coach. And then from there, it prompts you into what do they actually want? And so imagine bedtime being easy. Your child knows what to expect, feels secure, and actually goes to sleep on their own. You walk out of the room, no tears, no guilt, no 90-minute negotiations, and you finally get to exhale. And so this really came from this idea of like kids are having a hard time going to sleep and connecting that back to that Halloween campaign. And so then you talk about the product, right? So this is your 1-hour coaching call. And it did specifically say, what is your product, right? It's not just like making up things. It's specifically going to tie in the exact product. So this 1-hour coaching call is your chance to hit reset on bedtime, just in time for Halloween weekend when sugar, costumes, and overstimulation can throw sleep way off. You'll walk away with a clear plan and the confidence to follow through. This is the thing that one of the prompts that it asked me was, hey, how do you want to relate this back to Halloween? And I was like, crap, I forgot that this was a Halloween campaign. And so that was something that I actually got from ChatGPT, was like this idea of like, how am I connecting Halloween to this campaign? And it really is about like, hey, that sugar high, right? Getting your kids back to sleep. And this isn't something that's just going to be great for Halloween. Like it's going to be great no matter what time of year because your kid needs to develop these healthy habits. So that is something where like it can be really helpful in brainstorming and figuring out where to focus your message and what kinds of things can you talk about, right? And so the final piece that my messaging GPT gave me was about my approach. And, I had to talk a little bit about my hypothetical experience. But as a child therapist, I help parents build routines that support emotional regulation and healthy development. My approach blends therapeutic insight with real-world parenting, no judgment, no one-size-fits-all methods. And so this is pretty vague still because I made up a business and who I am as a child therapist, it's hypothetical. But I think what the point that I'm trying to make is that this piece AI can't give you unless you prompt it, right? Your story, your background, and how you approach things. Like that's a super, super important piece in writing copy. And you have to input it into your AI tool. So that is what I got. I got that whole messaging framework, the problem, why it matters, the solution, the product, and your approach, right? So I have all of those given to me, prompted by my GPT that I created. And now I'm going to actually copy and paste that messaging that I got, and I'm going to paste it into another GPT that I have, which is my campaign builder. And so I put in the same prompt and then I copied and pasted my messaging. And this GPT will actually ask you, like, where are you showing up? What's the goal? All of that fun stuff. So for me, I said, hey, I'm showing up on emails and social. So create this campaign for me. And so here is what it gave me. Email 1. Is bedtime a 90-minute emotional marathon? And so this is really focusing on that problem and where you can really go deep and talk about, hey, this is what's going on. Then it gives me Instagram carousel, why sticker charts don't work. So a lot of the common advice is, hey, set up a reward system. I got this advice a lot when I was a teacher. Does it work? Sometimes. Not always, really depending on the kid and what their needs are and all of that stuff. But it's giving me the suggestion to make a Instagram carousel. And I think that's not a bad idea, right? Because now that you can do like 20 posts on Instagram, you could really go deep onto like, hey, sticker charts are fine, but they're a Band-Aid really, because they are a scaffold. They're about helping your kids build skills so that eventually they don't need those sticker charts anymore. And so how would you approach that differently? And you could really throw that in there. So then you have email 2. What if bedtime could be easy? Oh, the dream. And so that email is about dreaming. It's what does it actually look like? How does it feel? What will the parents get out of it, right? Why should they do this now? Why not wait till your kid is older? Then you have Bennett's Instagram reel. This Halloween, don't let sugar ruin sleep. And it talks, and then it goes directly into your offer, right? So get your coaching call, et cetera, et cetera. And then email 3, how I help parents build calm, connected routines. And so you can really go into your approach and how you do things. So this is the campaign outline compared to the first one, which was saying, hey, a bunch of punny copy things. Is this campaign like totally ready to go and it's going to make you tons of money? No, absolutely not, right? Like this is helping you create a plan that you can then go and write the copy. And I actually have another GPT, which we are not demoing today, but that GPT actually goes through, takes your copy that you have written and will give you some strengths and weaknesses or areas for growth on, where can you improve like your storytelling? Where can you improve some different things that are from my copy rubric? So what I hope you get away from this is don't just take the first thing that AI spits out at you. AI can hand you a lot of fluffy language, but if you want something that actually works and is going to convert your people, 1, you need your clear message, right? And AI can totally help you develop that, but you have to prompt it with the right things because it doesn't know who you are. And even when it gives you a campaign outline, that's also a starting point, right? You can expand that. So this gave us 3 emails and 2 Instagram posts, but I could easily make this into, 5 emails and talk about it for a whole month. You can then give that feedback and really figure out how is this campaign going to work for you and also be strategic at the same time. So with all of that being said, if you want a campaign that works, clarity in your message, strategy, and making sure that it's not a haunted house of generic content. Yeah, AI wrote that line. But inside Copy Classroom and Brand Project, you get access to tools like this and the frameworks that guide them, and also my eyes on your copy so that your campaigns feel like treats and not tricks. Another AI line. With that, thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you thought on this AI series. I love to hear your feedback, especially as I start to plan future series. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, share with your biz besties, and thank you so much for listening. Until next time. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to rate and leave a review on your preferred listening platform. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe for weekly episodes about how to make money and work with the dreamiest of clients without having to get dressed in the morning. Make sure to check out the show notes down below, and I'll see you in the next episode.